unbelievable. I get a call. Actually, I didn't get a call. I had your principal, Patricia, show up at one of my open door days. And she came in and she was angry, as any good principal you can imagine just might be. And she said, all right, Mr. Mayor, you've been talking all this talk about public education and the importance of working with the public schools, and you've been talking about your work on truancy and dropouts. Well, let me tell you about truancy in my school. And she showed me an attendance list. And this was just a few weeks after school had begun, early in the year. And I was rather shocked, because it was almost impossible to miss that many school days, some of you, because the school year had just started. And she said, if you're truly committed, not just interested in supporting the public schools, then you got to get engaged in helping me support these families and these students and keep them in schools. So I said, and I gave her all the statistics. I said, we put in X number of dollars into this and that, and she was shaking her head, and I sounded like a politician. Apparently I wasn't convincing her. And so I said, give me your cell phone number. And she said, fine, here's my cell phone number. And I bet she never thought she'd hear from me again. And about a week or two goes by, and I called you on your cell phone number, and I angrily asserted myself, and I said, how about you and I go out, and we will knock on the doors of those kids that are not in school. And that's exactly what we did. And you can see a few of those students behind us graduating here today. So I'm immeasurably grateful, and I'm immeasurably proud that you did it. Good job. Man. But one thing that experience did for me, and I want to thank Patricia, and I mean this, and I talk about it all the time, is I didn't get it. See, the whole issue, and I'm now talking not just to you, I'm talking to everybody out here, your parents and friends and family, that the issue of truancy and dropouts is not just about a child that doesn't want to get educated. It's about families in crisis. It's about families that are overwhelmed. Moments in their lives where it's just too much. And they can't do it all. And what I discovered in some of those visits is some of those kids who weren't in school were taking care of their mothers and fathers back at home because there was no caregiver. They were taking care of their sisters or brothers because there was no support. And so I'm here in the spirit of that partnership that we're trying to achieve in San Francisco, that spirit that we're all in this together. Not just the city and the school district separately, but the city and the school district as a big partner in one community. So I want to just express my appreciation to your principal, to her leadership, her stewardship, to all the extraordinary parents in the room. A big round of applause to our parents. Well done. Congratulations. To all the family members that suffered through those finals, that helped these guys believe in themselves, that said you can do it, that gave them the courage to keep going and underscored the importance of getting here today. And to all of those that are here today that want everybody behind me to keep going. And I guess that's my brief message to you guys, is one thing I've learned in life, that success is not a place. Success is not a definition. Success is a direction. And there is no happy medium in life. And so while this is an extraordinary milestone, and for some of you, absolutely historic, it's just a milestone. And now you've got to keep going. And I know that some of you want to keep going, but you may not be able to afford to keep going. Some of you may need to support your families back home, may need to go to work in the family business. Others of you are trying to get those Cal grants that the governor's looking to cut, and are concerned that if you can't get that loan, you may not move forward. But I just want you to know, do not give up, and know how important it is not to end your education here today. Not to end your education here today. Be it a community college, be it vocational, whatever it takes. Keep learning, because if you're not learning, you're not growing. And that goes for the parents as well. You grow stale when you stand still. Now, two final points. something in the outside, and I hope you picked up on the distinction. I doubt many people did, but I want to underscore it. I said interested versus committed. And I think there's a powerful distinction. Think about this. Interested versus committed. I learn all the time, when I look at successful people in any endeavor in life, the thing that defines to me success and very successful people versus the rest of us is that distinction between interested people and committed people. Interested people find excuses. Committed people find ways of getting things done. So I challenge you to commit yourself to whatever it is that you love doing in your lives. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Don't take a job for what it pays. Take a job for what it teaches you. Do what you love in life and everything is possible. Find your passion. Find your music. Find your beat. And I talk about a beat, I talk about that internal drumming. The thing that drives you. Learn from, but do not follow others. Learn from, but do not follow others. And know this, that each and every one of you are unique and distinctive, and ain't no one else like you. And that is a great thing. That is a great thing. So celebrate all your interesting differences, guys. Because your expression's unique. No one else has it. But never forget the things that unite us together. So as we celebrate all our interesting differences, unite around that common humanity, the things that bind us together. And remember, what makes this city a special place, what makes this state a special place, and I believe what makes this country a special place, is that we're the world's most diverse democracy. And people are living together and advancing together and prospering together across every conceivable difference. And the world looks to us to see that it's possible to advance across those differences. And that's a very important thing. Look in front of this is one of the most diverse schools in one of the most diverse school districts in one of the most diverse cities in the most diverse state in the world's most diverse democracy. That's a very powerful statement. And that's important. So remember to unite around the things that bind us together. We are all, as I said, not just the city and the school district, we're all in this together. That common humanity Dr. King talked about. He took it right from the Bible, folks. We're many parts but one body. And when one part suffers, we all suffer. That web of mutuality. So again, don't tolerate our diversity in the city. Celebrate every single day as you celebrate this important day and this milestone in your life. Final word. This one is not necessarily for all the teachers and principal, and it's not necessarily for all the parents because you may not like it. The secret to success is failure. And my one admonition to all of you is to make mistakes. Because mistakes are a portal of discovery. You miss 100% of the shots you do not take. The answer is no unless you ask. You have got to be willing to take risks in your life. And this is incredibly important. And I know all of us in this room, if I asked you to show of hands, said, has anyone ever made a mistake in this room? The only mistake that anyone's made is not raising their hand, because every single one of us have made a mistake. And you know what? The secret is to learn from your mistakes. Not to repeat them, but to learn from your mistakes. But never fear failure. Because there's no progress without failure. And so I just want you to have the courage to know this. You may not have all the answers, but the answers are out there. If you have the courage to go out and seek them. And the courage to do what you think is right always. To be willing to take risks. Learn from your mistakes and move on and dust off. Remember, you do not have to be like everybody else to be something extraordinary. And so as you move forward, again, Celebrate the day, celebrate what you've learned, celebrate this milestone, but continue to move forward with passion, take a lot of action, and remember that the best in life is yet to come. Congratulations, Kyle, since 2000.